the allotment. It's around about 7:30 AM on a Sunday, and it's a beautiful day. It's overcast, but it's warm, and what I aim to do is show you around my allotment what's growing and what's not growing, because there are some things that didn't grow, and maybe give you an insight into what allotment here is all about. I got this site, or I signed for the site in November 28th of last year, and I was raring to go, basically, as you are when you're in your allotment here. But from November, December, January, February, March, it did nothing but rain, and I couldn't do a damn thing with the plot. So what I'm going to do in a minute, I'll give you a tour of the plot and what's been done, and then I'll put some photographs up of how the plot looked when I first got it. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so basically the plot starts at those two markers, and it goes round and round and round all the way up there to the shed where it finishes. As you can see, I've got some things growing, but not a lot of stuff, and I'll take you through those in a minute. Okay, these are some sort of a currant. I don't know whether they're black currant, white currant, red currant, but I did rescue them. They were stuck behind the shed in plant pots, practically dead. I just rescued them and put them back in the ground. There we go, all along the edge of my plot. You see the weeds. I've got to do a lot of weeding. Unfortunately, it's been raining and the weeds are popping up like hotels in a holiday resort. There's another currant, and yet another currant. It'd be interesting to see what sort of... Oh, wait a minute. There is one currant on there, if you can see it. So this one is most definitely a red currant. Lovely. I grow it big enough, make some nice wine. Over here, the opposite side, my potatoes. Looking nice and healthy, beginning to flower. I've got one or two that have wilted, but not many. I've got canes over there. The beans are coming up. They're a little bit late, but they will catch up in the season, and they'll start winding themselves around the canes, and hopefully by the end of this season, which is September, October-ish, I'll have some nice climbing French beans. Unfortunately, the beans on this wigwam didn't grow at all. I don't know what went on there. I think I might have some mice or something that digs them up and eats them, or I've got a nutrient deficiency in the soil. So I'll buy a kit for that and just check the soil nutrient, the soil pH, and see what I'm dealing with. Loads more weeds, as you can see. There's a row of what should be peas, but turned out to be, again, they didn't germinate, so it turns out to be a row of weeds instead, unfortunately. But that's what you get when you're an allotment here. You put up with these things, you know. It's nature for you. Here we go. That's Swiss chard. Took some home for dinner last night. Absolutely gorgeous. Did it with a little bit of butter and a little bit of garlic, salt and pepper. Absolutely gorgeous. A nice steak, some peas. What more could a man need? Over here we have the beetroot. That's coming up. It's beginning to form its root now, which is the thing that you eat. You can also eat the tops of the beetroot. That's you know, beetroot greens. Treat them a bit like chard. Sauté them down in some butter, salt, pepper, bit of garlic. They're nice too. Oh look, more weeds. Got to get them out. And spring onions. Now I plant my spring onions in a different way to everybody else. They all seem to plant them singly. I put 10 or 12 seeds per hole, and then when it comes to harvesting them, I just harvest a bunch. I don't harvest single onions. And that's the way, of course, you get them in the shops. You get them with the elastic band around. There's 10 or 12 spring onions in a bunch. And that's the way I grow them here. Just pull the bunch, no messing about. May take some of those home for tonight's dinner. Have them in a nice salad. Spinach. This is unbelievable. It wasn't even coming up at one time, but then the rain came and it's just romped away. I harvested one row, which was the row at the back there, last week, practically down to the ground. Took it home and cooked it. We've had a bit more rain and up it pops again. So it looks like, you know, I'm going to be ending up looking like Popeye by the end of the season. I'll have mussels coming out on my mussels. I've got to take some home today. In fact, I'll take most of it home today, and the wife will process it. She'll blanch it, put it in bags, freeze it, and we can have it over the winter. So that's not bad. Moving on. This is a little bit of happy accident. I didn't know this was here. It's Digitalis purpurea, the common foxglove, and the bumblebees absolutely love it. And it's self-seeded everywhere. I keep digging them up, and mostly I've composted them, but some of them I will pot up and put back in the autumn, and they can flower again next year because they're a biennial. And they make their leaves and everything this year, the rosette of leaves, and the following year or next year they will flower and then they will die. There we go, little bumblebee down there. Let's see if we can get him coming out of the little flower. There you are. Wonderful nature, isn't it? Over here, I've got my brassicas. These are Brussels sprouts. I've netted them against the old cabbage white butterfly, but unfortunately the white fly have actually got in and they're all underneath the leaves. And I think I might have a little bit of a magnesium deficiency because the leaves are beginning to turn a little bit yellow and curl up. So I'll get some Epsom salts and put it on the soil around them or water it in, and that should take care of that. Cabbage. There you go. When you're planting cabbage, the old adage is one for the slugs and the rest for you. So that one is for the slugs and these are mine. They're beginning to heart up nicely, the leaves appearing in the middle, so come winter, and they will overwinter, so I'm told, I will have an abundance of cabbage. I've got to put another row in, because obviously, family being family, they're saying, have you got this, have you got that, can I have some of this, can I have some of that? You know, and you end up with nothing for yourself. I've also netted these against the cabbage white butterfly, but again, the white fly have got in. So there you go, that's it basically. This is the plot now. All nicely dug over and tilled. There's the rhubarb over there which is really romping away. I'll pick some of that later. You can't really pick much of it because it's coming to the end of its season. By the end of June they start going woody and all the oxalic acid builds up, and you know, they're starting to put all the goodness back into the crown for next year, so that we can have an even bigger crop of rhubarb. So that's the plot. Let me just take you on and show you what I've done up near the shed. So there we go, that's my chair. This shed, by the way, is shared between me and a man called Cyril, who has the bottom half of the plot, because the plot actually is a very long one, but with them only being 11 plots on the sides, when one comes vacant, and it's a private society, it doesn't belong to the council, they split the plots in half in order to bring in a little more rent and a little more income. So I put this path down here, and all this is going to go to the tip. That's going to go to the tip. That big stone there is an ancient stone. I'm going to keep that, put it around the side of the shed and put my water butt on it. I've got the compost bin there. There's another one going to go there. That's going to go to the tip. Here's some rhubarb leaves, and believe it or not, I didn't know I had this, but we've got asparagus, and it kind of shot up during the rain. I don't know how long it's been in, don't know whether it's edible or not yet. Maybe leave it till next season and see how it comes up. and you know, that's going to go to the tip as well. There's this box, or there were two of them, but I burnt one of them. I'm in the process of emptying this because I don't want this there. I'd rather have this as a nice little patio for sitting out in the sunshine, having me cups of tea and me cans of beer, and doing things that allotmenteers do best when it's summer, when you can't do much except weed because everything's growing away. Just sit there and enjoy nature. A couple of bin bags full of polystyrene which I got out of the box. They're going to the tip as well. This is the old greenhouse site. I do have a greenhouse, but it's on another plot. I bought it off another plot holder, and I need to get it from that plot up here before the start of next season. I'll do that, so that's the job for the winter, clearing all this up. You know, in summer you just concentrate on gardening. Clear all this up in the winter, get the greenhouse moved for next year, and Bob's your uncle basically. Start growing up here instead of walking 2.5 miles to plant a seed. All this is at the back of the shed. There's a compost bin there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 containers which are presently catching rainwater, which is good because on this site we like to conserve water, and the usual thing is you use the water out the butts before you use the water out the hose pipe. And here we go. There it is. There's a full bucket, and it absolutely stinks because I put all the perennial weeds that I've dug out, I've put them in there and they're all fermenting down, and with that it will release the nutrients out of the weeds, such as nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus. Any nutrients that the weeds have taken up will be in the water. I'll fill the watering can half full with that, and then go down to the tap and fill it half full with water again, just to dilute it down, and it'll be good for the plants, for the tomatoes, and anything else I care to put it on. Just natural fertiliser. So there's a tip for you lads. If you've got any weeds, stick them in a bucket, put some water on, leave them a couple of weeks, and when it's absolutely stinking rotten, put it on your flowers. Or you can get the wife to bathe in it if you're that way inclined. So there we go, that's the plot. Hope you enjoy this. I will be making more videos. Possibly next season I'll start from beginning to end. If we don't have a late season, if I can start in March or April, that'll be fine. But there we go, stay tuned, and happy gardening.